Hello viewers, this is your boy once again, Political Hamzy, all things Nigeria. I do apologize that I've been unable to bring out content regularly, but from now on, I'll be bringing out content more regularly for you, the viewers. Today's topic will be short and sweet, nice and simple. We'll be talking about the democratic killers or democracy killers in Nigeria. Who are the democracy killers in Nigeria? These are our democratic elected officials. They're the ones killing democracy. You can see right now we're going through a crisis in Nigeria with the National Labour Congress being on strike, saying, look, we want about 200 plus thousand naira as minimum wage to ease the cost of living in Nigeria. The government has come back and said, look, we can only give you 62,000 naira as minimum wage. And even that, only 10 states in Nigeria are able to pay this minimum wage. The Minister of Economic Planning and Budgeting at Abubakar Bagudu has said that, look, we've looked through the figures, we've done our permutations, and 62,000, this is what is sustainable. And you look at it and you ask yourself, you've done your figures, and 62,000 is sustainable. But when you approved 1.2 billion naira for the purchase of cars for the First Lady, which her office is not recognized by the Constitution, you didn't think that was not, you thought it was the right thing to do. You approved 6.9 billion to buy cars for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knowing fully well that before even when he became president, we already had a presidential fleet of cars. So what's happened to the old cars? It was sustainable and acceptable to you to increase the allowance and allocation and buy SUVs for lawmakers when Nigeria is facing a financial crisis. It's acceptable to the Nigerian government that, look, they have brought out 90 billion naira for Hajj, for the pilgrimage. Let me tell you, people traveling on pilgrimage, it's a choice. We, Nigeria as a country, should not be paying for that. So it's like anytime money is meant for the lawmakers and the presidency, there's never a problem. But when it's meant for the common man and to alleviate the suffering of the common man, then you tell us, look, we've done the calculations and it's not feasible. This is the same government that they feel or they felt it is right that the vice presidential villa, 21 billion naira be spent on presidential villa in this economic crisis we're facing. This is not democracy. Democracy, it's when we elect our leaders and they do what they're meant to do to alleviate the suffering of the common man. They're held accountable by us. But in Nigeria, it's different. Our political leaders, they're not held accountable, and the only suffering they alleviate is theirs. They are there for themselves. Now look at labor. Only 10 states in Nigeria say, look, we can pay this new minimum wage. And you wonder, they've increased the allocation of most states have had an increase in allocation, and even the state governors have increased their security allocation. And you ask yourself, though, apart from states like Lagos and Kaduna, Kano, these rivers, these highly populated areas, places like Jigawa, Gombe, how many people do they have working under the government? How many people do they have collecting what do you say, severance packages? How many people do they pay pensions? And you want to tell me they can't afford to pay people minimum wage? In Nigeria, I keep on saying, our democratic leaders are the ones killing democracy in Nigeria. And you can see in Nigeria, we have a situation, we do not have the local government. For you to alleviate the sufferings of the people, you need to have leaders in the grassroots. So that's your councillors and your local government chairman. But what has happened in Nigeria is that you have governors, they've taken control of the whole state apparatus from the councillorship to local government chairman. So nobody has a say. And you need to look at our president. People say, oh, look, Lagos State, it's a fantastic template. They're doing a good thing. They're electing the right leaders. But still, is it true democracy? Because when you hear people talk about Lagos State, they tell you, oh, the people that come out for governorship and the people that are appointed or elected governors are people that have been ordained by the president himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So is that a democracy? You have not given the party the choice or the people the choice to select who they want to represent them as governors. But who comes out to represent Lagos State as a governor is the choice of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is not a democracy. And I say you guys are democracy killers, because I remember during Goodluck Jonathan's time, people like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, Professor Wole Soyinka, these are the people that galvanized labor and went out there to protest against the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. Now they're in power, and labor is now doing the same thing. You hear things like these people are unpatriotic. You hear different things, and you'd say, look, you wonder, you're like, now these people are fighting for the same thing you fought for years ago. When they're doing it, you're telling them they're unpatriotic. Nigeria, we have gotten to a stage whereby some of these politicians should take up the mantle of being elder statesmen, but none of these our leaders want to be elder statesmen. They just want to be there in the mix of things and taking what is meant for the people. Ganduje, we saw what he did in Kano State. Just because the Emir of Kano, his thoughts and ideology does not align with him, what does he do? He breaks up an institution, the Kano Emirate, that has been there way before his great-great-grandfather, just because he can, just because the political thoughts and ideology of the Emir does not align with him. Rochester Okorocha did the same thing with the Njemazi family in Owerri. These are our political leaders. They're not only destroying democracy, they're destroying our traditional institutions. And democracy is all about accountability. Look at the Beta Edu saga. Have we heard anything about it? That case is dead. Look at the whole hula baloo with the Kogi State's governor, Yahaya Bello. What have we heard? What is going on? Nothing. Nothing at all is happening. It's such a sad thing when you think about Nigeria and where we should be right now and where we are at. And the problem we have with these democracy killers, which they are our elected leaders, is that nothing will change. Look at the Labour Congress on strike. So when the Labour Congress is on strike, it's going to affect hospitals, it will affect the power sector, and so many other sectors, which will affect the lives of Nigerians. But in a society that works, when Labour goes on strike, it just doesn't only affect the individuals, it affects those that are governing, those in power. But in Nigeria, Labour can go on strike for 10 years. It won't make a difference to them, because those hospitals, their children and they themselves do not go to those hospitals. Those schools that the teachers are not going to, that they're on strike right now, none of our political leaders, none of the the top government officials, none of their children go to school there. They go to private schools in Nigeria, and those that are not in private schools in Nigeria are in schools overseas. Light, it doesn't make a difference for them because Nigeria runs on generator. We run on diesel. Water, for Nigerians to have water, you have to provide your own water. So it's like everything that Labour is going on strike for to actually hurt the government, it's not really hurting them that much because it doesn't really affect them. When you talk about something that really affects the government, it would have to be something to do with oil production. That's why you saw when the militants were doing what they were doing, the government was taking a positive action, taking a positive stand against it, because now oil production for them, it's not about the money Nigeria is earning. For them, it's about the money that Nigeria is earning and they can put in their pockets. So this affects them directly because we all know that our government officials, it's all about going there and grabbing what they can. And this is such a sad thing, is that most of these people, before they got into power, these were things they spoke about. They said, look, when we get there, we'll provide health care, we'll provide water, we'll provide healthcare hospitals, we'll provide schools. And now they're there. It's zero. We do not have a healthcare system. We do not have schools. You hear some state governors saying we want to build some more universities, and you're like, the universities in your state are dilapidated. Why build new universities? Why not upgrade the old ones? The problem with Nigeria is that we the people, as I always say, we're not actively involved. It's like every 4 years we come out, vote, and after that, nobody's taking any active actions, no positive actions. I always keep saying, and I repeat this after every video I make, I say, look, you need to register in a political party. You need to be actively involved in the decision making. I just hope one day things will change. It has to change. I always keep saying that Nigeria is not the greatest country in Africa, but Nigerians are the greatest in Africa due to their tenacity. This is your boy, Political Hamzy. Do have a nice week. Thank you.